What up, y'all? It's the man we all know and love, Kwame, and you are locked in watching the Chris Gunther Show. Keep it there. All right, peace.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Please remember to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. My special guest today, he is a multi-award winning platinum artist. He's a producer. He's one of the legends in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, the Chris Gunther Show welcomes the one, the only Kwame. How you doing today, sir?
What's going on? That was a great introduction. I feel special today. Thank you.
Man, I feel special that you taking some time out of your very busy schedule. You just put out a brand new project, The Different Kids. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And thank you for letting me ramble on throughout this interview.
That's
I
what we do best.
thank you in advance.
Yes, sir, man. First project that you've had out in some time,
Yeah.
like when did it hit you that, yo, now it's time to get back behind the mic? Because we understand you've produced with some of the biggest artists in the world, but when something is in you, it's just in you. So, like, when did you know it was time to get back out there?
You know, like you said, once it's there, it's always there. But it was for me. It was never a thing like, oh, I'm gonna put my rapper hat back on and get out. I'm always recording. I'm always writing. I'm just not sharing. And so at some point, I worked on a song when people listen to the album. I did a record where I switched around the theme song for the TV show, Different Strokes. It's a song called Stroke Different, and I was playing around with that, just experimenting, and that was the spark that lit for the rest of the album. Because once I made that song, I had other songs before that, but once I made that song, I was like, I want my album to sound like this. I want it to feel like this. And from there, I was just laser. Once I get focused, that was it. I shut everything else down. I would get up 4 or 5 in the morning and just come down to my studio and write, record, produce until I had a full body of work. And then, luckily I had my own label, so I was just able to just put it out. Uh, and I felt it was the right time. I think I'm from a certain generation. We call ourselves, I guess, Generation X, or they call us Generation X. And there's a certain nostalgia to how we grew up and the things we grew up on and the music we listened to and the way we dress, the way we talk. And I feel like no one or not many people were speaking to that. And not many people were speaking to that generation. And not many people were speaking from a perspective of someone from that generation. You may get an older rapper, but they still want to rap about the things they did when they was 20 instead of expressing themselves the way they are now. So I just wanted to make a record that spoke to my generation and played on the nostalgia of my generation as well. And that's it.
Evolution is inevitable. We
Yeah.
are we all have to evolve at some point. You
Yep.
have done so much evolution in your career. You've evolved from, doing things with Salt and Pepper and Herbie Love Bug and growing up with them, and then you get honored with one of the best honors that you can get at a museum. When you
Yeah.
first started this journey, did you think any of this was possible?
No. No. I didn't even think about it. There were certain things that I did think about, certain things that I did want when I was 14, 15, 16, really doing what I do now. Um, I just didn't understand the time frame that it takes to get to these certain places.
Hmm.
I would have never thought that, say, 36 years later, I'd be on stage rapping something that I made when I was 16. I never thought about that. Maybe when I was 16, I thought it could be a hit record, but I never thought that 36 years later, I'd be doing it or making a new album, literally decades in, or getting honored at a museum. But I'm glad that I'm doing it in a time where my mom can see it and experience it and see that evolution of her kid because a lot of the family members, a lot of the people that were close to me, as time goes on, people go. And so you wanna be able to honor that and make those people proud. So that's what I'm kind of focused on. I never really thought about it for myself. I'm thinking about it for like other people and being able to make those people proud.
It's all right to give yourself some flowers though,
Oh
simply
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you came up in an era where that was that raw hip hop, okay? Everything was completely different and it isn't as commercialized as some people would say that the game is now. How have you been able to not only stay relevant but also stay true to yourself and sometimes in a society that wants you to conform to what they want you to do?
Well, yeah, we're always taught that we have to be this way, talk this way, act this way. If we get older, we got to play the back. We got to, all this kind of stuff. But that's not how life is. You as a person, you exist. You wake up every day and you exist and you see the world around you. And you make the choice to either be a part of that world that's going around you or fall back and let the world pass you by. So for me, I make the choice every morning I wake up and every night that I go to bed to be to exist here and now and try to push for a future. And when you have that mindset, when you have that thought process, it's almost easy. You're just doing you and you're just it's not about being relevant or irrelevant. It has nothing to do with it. You're just doing you and being you. There are a lot of people I'm pretty sure you see people that might be older than you that may say, I ain't messing with this XYZ, or it could be something as simple as an iPhone. I ain't messing with no iPhone. You're like, you gotta talk to somebody,
You got to,
or
especially in
like
this
I
day
know
we live
people.
in.
Yeah, I know people like I'm not doing no GPS. All right, you figure it out. I'm getting there as quick as I possibly can. And I think, as long as you have that mindset, you gotta have a progressive mindset at all times, and it resonates in all the things that you do, whether it's creative or just life, just regular life.
The album is called The Different Kids. Were you a different kid growing up?
Of course, I'm a different kid now. It's like, when everybody went left, I went right, and it's like it's just how I am. It's just how I'm wired. When everybody showed up to the school functions in their fila suits and their sweatsuits and their sneakers, I showed up in a suit and tie, looking like Revenge of the Nerds. But but
I'm
it
laughing.
was
No, hold on. I'm gonna jump in there for a second. I'm laughing because I was always one that had to wear the suit and ties, but shoot, look what came out of it though. But I
yeah,
digress.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I was always suited and booted, and it was like and for lack of a better thing, people were like, he's on his different stuff. He's on it, and it's like, yeah. And when you are a different kid in any way, shape, or form, I always say this: you set your own tone. You you set out to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and that means you will have a 100% success rate, a 0% fail rate, because if you're doing things your own way and no one's telling you how to do it and you're figuring it out, just taking the step forward is the success. So whatever you do getting out of bed in the morning is a success. If you're a disabled person and you're considered different and you got out of bed and you was able to get into that wheelchair and get to that next place, you're a success. If you're just a person that wanted to dress different, say for example, you wanted to do interviews and you wanted to run your podcast and you wanted to be online and someone else thought you should have been working as a car salesman, or somebody else thought you should have been working at Kroger or wherever it is. I'm just saying you took the steps to be able to do what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do it. And it has nothing to do with money, it has nothing to do with fame or recognition. It has something to do with the steps being taken. And that's what being a different kid is all about. Just being different, having that mindset of doing things your own way and being successful at it.
You have done that in your entire career. I understand we got to hurry up and get off of here, but what is it that you want the listeners to take away, not only from this project, but from this conversation that we've been able to have?
Well, you can start with the project. The project is a mirror into how I personally see things that is going on in my life, in this world, in our society, in music, and hopefully you feel the same way. Because I'm not speaking to it from a point where like I'm on a perch and I'm like, I'm better than y'all. I got more money than y'all. It's nothing like that. And a lot of rappers do that. They talk down to us and we try to bring ourselves up to where they think that they are. But I'm talking at people. I'm talking directly to people. And I'm trying to talk to my generation first and foremost and say, look, this is how I see it. This is what I've been through. This is what I'm going through. This is what people that I know are going through. And in 27 minutes, it's like a short film almost. You listen to the album, all the songs blend together, and hopefully you get that vibe and that nostalgia and that feeling that I got making the product.
Well, we appreciate you so much for your time. I understand we got to hurry up and get out of here. If anybody wanted to connect with you and learn more about you, how can they do that?
You can start with Instagram, Kwame Vision. Just start there and or TikTok, Kwame Vision 1. But go to Instagram. That's the best place. That's where I sit the most. And go to Instagram, Kwame Vision, and all the things that I'm into, all the things that I'm doing, I just show it there, run my mouth, post videos, do all the good stuff. And you get to hear and see all the new records and videos and everything right there.
We thank you for even taking this time out, not only to share with us the project, but also to share with us a little bit of insight into who you are. A lot of
Thank you.
times artists kind of hide, from it, but you can't hide your authenticity. People can try
Nah,
to
you
put it
got
on the shelves, but the real you is gonna come out at some point.
Yep, you got to be unapologetically you. And that's the thing about doing art. And that's what I try to tell any artist, up and coming, seasoned, somebody just thinking about doing art. You will not succeed until you are 100% you in your art. Because once you're 100% you, your art flows effortlessly. You just flow, you just do it. And whatever happens, people can like it. That's what art is about. Art is subjective. So not everybody's gonna like you, and not everybody's gonna dislike you. But once you decide to be yourself fully, you will reap those rewards. Trust me.
I'm a living witness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, nothing else needs to be asked. Kwame on the Chris Gunther Show. Be sure y'all check out his latest project. It's available on all streaming platforms. Thank you for
Yes.
your time today, King. Peace and
Thank you.
love.
Thank you. Thank you.